Video number 2 for today is actually a full moon day, April 19th, 2019. I should do a better video on the full moon because my last video was 5 minutes and like 3 of the 5 minutes was the kids distracting me. So we might have a little bit of distraction today too because we got Tay Tay. Tay Tay, say hey on this video. Say hi. Hey. Hey YouTube. Say hey.
Hey.
It's Tay Tay.
Tay Tay.
It's Tay Tay.
Tay Tay.
That's me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Oh, you want to give it a kiss? Mwah. How cute. Okay. So, just Tay Tay today, so hopefully not too many distractions. But now, check out some of the other recent videos I uploaded today. I gave an update on our travels, dates for those, more to come once we know more. Also, recently did a video on the plague of perfectionism. It wasn't the most organized video when it comes to my thoughts, but for someone who feels inspired to watch it, it, you know, might make a difference. The moral of the story is most of us are under so much pressure. Most of us are living perfectionistic lives or trying to live up to those ideals. Even if you don't see it that way, a lot of us are guilty of it. And the moral of the story is let it go because it's not changing the world for the better. Perfectionism, for most people, it's not getting us anywhere. It's making us more stressed and, you know, we need to be happy. All right, so let me, hold on. My mouth looked a little funny for a second with my, anyways, focus. So this video number 2, I haven't had my coffee. I haven't had any coffee today either, any caffeine. So I'm surprised I'm this alert, but I guess I've been sleeping well. So anyways, focus though. Look at me, 2 minutes in and I gotta focus. This video is about intuition. And my other recent video was also about, the one I did just before this one was about brain hacks. So, you know, how and why I have learned and have taught other people how to be really efficient with their time, how to hack the brain in ways that allows you to get the grades that you want if you're in school with less time and less effort and less stress, and or perform at your job with less stress and less time, because I know we're all trying to balance a lot in this life. So let's focus on the topic of this video. And I wish I could show you the little bird, this cute little bird that has a nest in on our porch. But anyways, yeah, I guess because it's Friday, I don't know, or maybe it's a full moon effect when it comes to this distraction, but I'm going to focus on intuition. So here's what I want to say about intuition. I'm grateful. Number 1, let me start with some gratitude that I'm at a place where I do not have to feel ashamed about who I am and about my gifts. I am someone who is highly intuitive, and that is a term that doesn't scare anyone. But if I were to say, if I have psychic abilities or prophetic abilities or whatever, you know, other labels that have negative and positive associations with them, then some people might judge me. But I'm saying the same thing, okay? So intuition, now, I will say that now that intuition is a thing, you will find different groups of people. You'll find different scientists and professionals who are going to use intuition in a different way. They actually do mean different things. What I'm saying, and it's raining again, it's awesome though. What I mean when I say intuition is that kind of sense and feeling that we all have, but it's the accurate one. It's not the confusing one. It's not fear. It's not these other labels. It's never wrong. Your intuition is always right. But the challenge is we don't know how to distinguish between fears and past patterns and other things from our let me grab some water. We don't know how to distinguish between our fears and different emotions and actual intuition. Okay, I got to take a water break. I'm sorry. I actually donated plasma today. I talked about that on one of my videos. How you can make around, depending on your area. You know, in our area, it's $400 a month that you can make donating plasma. So I need to rehydrate. I'll be right back. Give me a second. So also all this talking. So yeah, of course, lots of talking will get that throat dry. So intuition, what I mean by intuition, I'm following people who are talking about that like sixth sense or whatever you want to call it, but that feeling that is always accurate and often, most often, no, not most often, intuition doesn't have to be always in the future, because your intuition can tell you something that's about the present moment and it's accurate, or it can tell you something about the future. And so here is why I love science, because yes, I'm a very spiritual person, so I don't always believe in the most scientific things, but I love when science can validate what's real, because then people who are so logical can now have that meaty grip on evidence that will show them. I hope it's not going to start lightning and thundering though, I'll tell you that much. I think I just saw some lightning, but so people who need the science and logic, I love that when it is proven, so that I can use that as proof for what I already knew to be true. So when it comes to intuition, you should Google this, okay? I'm actually need to look it up again because it's been some time, but there are now researchers studying intuition and how it helps military professionals perform. So what they started to notice is that certain military professionals are, like, whether it's in training or in actual, you know, scenario, why is it that some of them are literally almost like sniffing things out, sensing things before they happen, which leads to what? Them actually staying alive and their team actually performing better. So if military professionals, without even being prompted or, you know, being taught, you know, to tap into their intuition, are doing this, if they're doing this and other people are doing this anyways, the moral of the story is now they are teaching. That was a little bit, I contradicted myself. I was trying to say that at first military professionals were just doing this and people were noticing it, like, wow, it seems like some soldiers actually can sense the future or actually tapping into some other information. So now, since they notice that pattern, what they're doing is teaching it to less intuitive people. So why not teach intuition to the military? Why not help them realize that we do have a sense and there is a collective conscious and we can tap into that information and download information for the greater good of all. It's not a scary thing, you know? So I won't even talk about the negative, why people are so afraid, you know, of psychics or whatever. Well, I will say one thing. I mean, if you are someone who prescribes to a particular religion, and if that religion says, you know, certain things are bad, then obviously you feel that way because of your religion. And I understand that, but let's go beyond, not necessarily your religion, but let's go beyond, what will I say? Let's just think about the fact that as human beings, there are so many abilities that we have, and we got to get back to leveraging our natural abilities. And thank God that science is starting to study it so we can feel more relaxed about it and not make it something that is, you know, negative or scary. And I will give some validity to the fact that if you think about maybe in the past, certain people who maybe called themselves psychics or called themselves certain things, and some people who legitimately were doing witchcraft, that probably put a bad twist to it, you know. So you probably have people who you know, associate in the past, you were people who likely associated, you know, highly intuitive people with negative experiences, and as such, you know, that kind of negative stigma followed some people. So anyways, I am letting go of all the negativity. I am embracing my gifts, and I will give you some examples of intuition in my life. And I'll also say, again, just because I am naturally more intuitive and it's easier for me, it doesn't mean that it can't be the same for you. So it's kind of just like there's a lot of different skill sets that people have that come naturally to some people. They don't even have to try. But even if, like, let's, for example, say someone doesn't really have to try that hard to be a good basketball player. They just kind of got it in them. They maybe have a height advantage. They got some other things going on. Boom. They're like killing in the basketball. Someone like me, nah, you know, I'm not a basketball player. But if I wanted to go out there and practice, you better believe I can improve my skills a lot, you know. So same thing with intuition and other skill sets. It's something that we all can practice. And so how to practice intuition is a clear mind. And so if you think about meditation, mindfulness, just some different practices of the brain that will help you clear and create that connection. It doesn't have to be spiritual, because some people who are watching this video are not spiritual, and that's no problem. And don't believe in a God, that's no problem. Doesn't matter what you call it, you know. Tay, you better not. No, ma'am. You better not. You better stay on those steps or come right. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not playing, Tay. So yeah, so let me give you some examples of how it's helped me in my life. So one, I didn't go looking for my intuition or start, you know, I didn't like language it as anything. It just started to happen. So I am someone, and it happened more so with me in my adulthood, although it was happening in more subtle ways as a child, but definitely as an adult, it's been like kind of just up in my face, like, wow, I can really tap into things. So one, Dreams are a way that I tend to receive accurate information about people who I know, and they can be far. I mean, there's people, you know, I can think about a friend who moved out of the state, and I would have dreams about her, and she never told me anything, but it was accurate. So dreams can be telling when it comes to your intuition and what it's trying to communicate to you. I gotta go get Tay. She's got to have a consequence. So any parents watching this video, I have learned the hard way that you really got to be consistent with your kids. You know, you can't be too nice or else you will pay for it on the back end and they won't take you that seriously. So Tay-Tay has got to go sit down since she didn't listen to mommy. No, ma'am. Now you got to stay in for a minute. And if you cry, that's no problem. You didn't listen. You got to wait for a little bit before you can come back out, okay? Because you didn't listen. You were supposed to stay on the steps and you didn't listen, and that's not safe. Okay? You want to explain yourself?
No.
You don't?
No.
You don't want to say nothing? You're just going to face the facts?
Back.
Okay, say bye.
Bye.
Okay, she don't know she in timeout. She just going to stay there, though. So dreams are ways in which I started to say, wow, how is it that without me trying, I'm, you know, receiving this information about myself and others. Sometimes it can be negative information, and sometimes it can be confusing because you'll have a dream and you're like, oh my God, is that intuition? And a lot of the times it's not. A lot of the times it is your fears or the subconscious mind playing out something else. So don't look into it too much, because your intuition is always right, but you knowing which is your intuition and which is not, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other question. So anywho, so dreams, also just, you know, having, you know, if you're someone, you meet someone and you tend to know a lot about their life or their personality without even, you know, there's one person I can think about in college. Within the first few seconds of our eyes meeting, I knew so much about him, and that was definitely a very distinct experience. I don't have those types of experience all the time, but anyways, I received some information, so accurate, interesting. I don't know if I use the information in the right way, but anyways, whatever. Received a lot of information. So you can have those moments where like you're meeting people and you're just like, wow, how did I know that? Or sometimes people who start to pay attention more, you'll start to notice like you'll be thinking about something, you know, something random too. And then all of a sudden the person that you're with is talking about it. It's like, what are the odds that this random thought that I had is now coming out of this person's mouth? So that's intuition coming forward. That's kind of like you sensing what's about to happen, because we perceive time to be linear, but those quantum mechanics and quantum physics people are you know, showing us that time is an illusion. And so no, it's not linear, and that is how we can perceive information from the future in the present moment. And so you can have those types of experiences where you're meeting people and you know knowing information. You can try to sit down and intentionally, you know, think about, you know, let's say you are someone who, you know, you're intuitive and you're trying to be more intuitive. So you might just practice, you know, try to sit down and see, you know, when you're, you know, if someone has a question or whatever, you can try to practice just to see if you trust your intuition. One of the things that I do is when I'm watching TV, let's say watching celebrities or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm watching TV basically, and it's typically this game that I play with celebrities. It's like I try to guess their birthday, but I won't say this is all intuition. I'm trying to guess. I'm actually using astrology and numerology because I do believe in that. I'll pause here to say some of you might think that's a negative thing, but I mean, how is us knowing about our multiverse negative? So let me try to take my judgment out of my tone, because I have had some people who have approached me with a lot of negative energy when I'm talking about stars. Like, I mean, hello, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, you're supposed to worship, you know, the stars, and some people might, and that's their prerogative, that's their choice. But anywho, astrology and numerology gives me information, and I don't see it as a negative, because just like the sun impacts us, right? The sun is giving us vitamin D. We know that if you don't get enough sun, bad things can happen. You know that if you get too much sun, bad things can happen. And, you know, so the sun isn't influencing us, right? It is a major impact on our well-being on planet Earth. Well, guess what? So is the moon. And guess what? So are other planets. And just because it's new to you, you don't have to be afraid of that information. So anyways, get off my horse about astrology. But when it comes to intuition, so when I'm playing this game with myself, trying to practice, okay, am I really psychic? Am I really intuitive? Let me try to guess this. So I'm pretty accurate. But one of the reasons why I'm accurate is because I'm by myself and not on TV, obviously. So I can tell you that a lot of people who put themselves in those high pressure, you know, situations, let's say if I wanted to prove to the world that I'm super psychic and I was like on TV, then, you know, once you have that pressure in the brain and you have those disconnect, you know, it can negatively influence your intuition. So I'm not at that point anyway where I'm trying to prove it. But anyways, my game that I play with myself, I'm watching the celebrities on TV. I try to guess their birthday. But what I'm gathering is information as well, because I know enough about their personality that I'm going to try to guess stuff about their numerology. So what actual day were they born on? What is their life path number? What zodiac sign are them and all that. So anyways, it's been pretty accurate and it's been pretty fun. And sometimes it's like it can be a stranger, not a stranger. It can be someone on TV that like I know their face, but I don't know their name. And I don't know a lot about them. And I'll still be like, okay, intuition. What is their birthday or what month were they, you know, born in, or what is their life path number? And if I don't have the pressure and I just let the information come through, boom, it's there. Life path 7. Wow, I didn't even know that, but my intuition let me, you know. So anyways, so it can come in, you can have fun with it, play a game with it if you're trying to increase your intuition. You can start to notice little patterns. What's going on with you, baby girl? You're not in timeout no more. So other ways, intuition. Yeah, I mean, I think y'all get, I think baby is hungry. So I think y'all get the point that intuition is a real thing. If you don't take my word for it, how about you do a little Google search and find some credible websites and credible people who are scientifically studying the fact that we can sense information on all different time planes, including the future. You should not be afraid of this. This can help you. Although I do believe, ooh, did you pee through your diaper or did you sit on something wet? Although I do believe we're not meant to know everything. I think it takes the fun out of life for you to try and figure out every bit of the future. So I don't suggest that for you. What would you like to say about intuition? Into. Can you say in? Into. To. Wish. 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 Shun.
Yeah.
Good job. Good effort.
Yeah.
She tried. She's a lot of words she can say, but intuition, I mean, come on. She's only, how old are you? You know how old you are? Can you say 1?
Yeah.
I'm 1. 1. That's the little baby.
Baby.
But I'm growing. So yeah, so intuition. So I think I'm going to stop it there. I'll do another video, but intuition is a real thing. You can improve it. You can improve it. It is scientifically studied to be a real legit thing. You do not have to be afraid. Even if, you know, your core belief system says, you know, tapping into intuition is a bad thing, then hey, you have that choice. Stay away, you know, from learning it. And let me stop. Like I said, I'm trying my best. I'm so sorry if anyone perceived any judgment. And it's just with my belief. I think intuition and people learning how to, you know, really leverage that skill would change the world. I mean, because the world is always speaking to us, you know? There's always information trying to come through. Information that would make our lives a lot easier and that would help us to be a lot happier. What you think? Are you sleepy? Oh, it is nap time, but you need some eat too. Huh? Yeah. All right, y'all. So that's my little quick video on intuition. That might be it for today, or I might be inspired to do another video on something else. I think I was going to do a video on Zumba and dance mix and how to be a fitness instructor for those who want to do that on the side as well, because I forgot. Oh, hug. Oh, because I forgot to add that on my video. I have a video about side hustles and I talk about a few different ways to make some moolah, and teaching Zumba and dance mix is one of those, and you do not have to be an exceptional dancer to do that. You gotta be a little coordinated. All right, can you say bye?
Bye.